Show. This is the Big O 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 Show. This
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Walton Rayom can help.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX, $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
It's all good. We're here having some fun. Come on by, say hi. Weird things happen in life. What's going on? No sound? No sound, bro. No sound. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Let's go. No sound? Is there no sound? Did I do the open for nothing? Sound or no sound? Using the old setup? Big Johnson has a thumbs up. Oh, okay. So it was him that had it like turned down. Big Johnson, do me a favor, bro. Okay. Maybe stop smoking the joint like right before the show. So, that way you can kind of like level off a little bit there. You got a little bit high and you're like, hey, I can't hear him. Oh, we'll have the volume up. All right. I think they're fucking with you now. That's what I think they're doing. I think they're busting your balls. I think they're doing that. All right. So, anyway, we got it. Alexis Palenzuela says sound. When Juan Rosa says start all over with a smiley face, he's being a smart ass. He's just having some fun. Brian Radke, who I trust, he says it's on now. So there we go. Anyway, that's right. The Rooster, baby. Man in the Box. That was somebody's theme song. Oh, man. We've had weird things happen in this world. Hurricanes hit like North Carolina. What kind of weird things can you think of in the last year or two that there's been a lot of weird things? Remember like 2 years ago, we had a snowstorm down like in Texas and they're like electricity all froze and everything. It sent Cancun cruise running. Remember that? Right? Weird things. The fires in Los Angeles. Right? That's the fires in Los Angeles were as weird as it gets. Sound is not HDO. But NorCal says it sounds good. Okay. So you guys are hearing me right now, okay? And you got to be hearing me now, right? Anyway. So, we've had a lot of weird things happen in the world. A lot of natural disasters. We've had events that maybe nobody really expected. OKC in the finals, Indiana Pacers in the finals. Anybody expect that? Not really, not at the beginning of the year. You know what I'm saying? Probably weren't picking those teams. Right? Strange things happen. Well, yesterday, something really strange happened. Now you know where I was going, huh? Elizabeth Warren and Donald Trump agreed on something. Now you know the world's coming to an end. If you haven't figured it out yet, that's all you need to know, right? That there, bro. Elizabeth Warren comes out and says, remember, it's all about Bitcoin. Remember, I don't give a shit about either side. This is the crowning moment for my show right here. Because I always pick on both sides, but the Trumpies get pissed because they think I'm a lefty. And then if I pick on the lefties, they think I'm a righty because I'm Cuban. Oh, you're Cuban. You got to be Republican. They both sides assume, and you know what they say about assuming. So Elizabeth Warren comes out and says, yeah, we should lift the debt ceiling. And then Trump goes, for once, I agree with Elizabeth Warren. Free the printer, baby. Free the printer. See, the Republicans agreed to print $2.2 trillion in March. And now this new bill is $2.5 trillion. That's what Rand Paul is talking about. It's $5 trillion. And by the way, I'm sorry, Sean, just out of curiosity, do you guys remember, those of you that follow really the show? Remember how I've always told you that Bush Jr. did $6 trillion in 8 years, and Obama did $8 trillion in 8 years, and then Trump did $8 trillion in 4 years, and then Biden did $8 trillion in 4 years? Do you guys remember that before anybody was elected, and I said it did not matter whether it's a Dem or Republican, the next president will print how much? Very good, Sean. Very good. Before anybody was elected, I told you the next president would print how much in the next term? We got it? We got it out there? Anybody? 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 Let me see. Anybody out of the 49 right now watching? Anybody? Damn. I would figure somebody would have come up with it already. He got it, of course, because he's here all the time. 10. I told you, whoever's president, 10 trillion. Well, Trumpy's going to be up to 5 trillion in the first 2 years. So, anyway, Bitcoin. Yeah, Chad got it. After we said it, and they put, damn it. And I didn't care which party, because again, some of you still don't believe that, but whatever. I believe in Bitcoin. I don't believe in these parties. That was like right there. And as for us Bitcoiners, it was great, because now you see what we're talking about? Doesn't matter which side, they all want to print. It snowed in Jacksonville. There you go. Yeah, we've had some weird stuff go on. Yesterday was the top of all tops. That was right there. It's beautiful. All right. Anyway, loving it. Hope you guys are doing well out there. I know the Panthers lost yesterday. We talked about it already. We got an entire post-game show we did last night on it. And I'm not concerned. It was just, every time they have this kind of a layoff, they don't play well. And yesterday they didn't play well, and they lost in late overtime. Bob was fantastic. He made a bunch of saves. Guys made mistakes in front of him. Okay. They weren't sharp yesterday. And that usually happens to this team when they have several days off. And you'll see a different team tomorrow. I guarantee you that. Yesterday, you think about it. Look at all the shit they had to overcome. This is the third time they get to the Stanley Cup Finals. The mental and physical toll that takes, that's amazing. They're awesome. You're trying to beat the same team you beat last year. By the way, they happen to be a great team. Okay? Edmonton is not a slouch. Edmonton beat you. Well, they happen to have a hell of a team, and they're home. Okay? Remember how we talk on the show that home ice doesn't mean anything? Since these two teams, neither one had home ice in the entire playoff run. So Edmonton's got an axe to grind. They're dying to get the revenge. Okay? They played well yesterday. Panthers didn't. And they lost by a goal in late overtime. Okay? By now, the Panthers deal every night with everybody's best. Because when you beat the Panthers, you're beating a legendary team right now. Because if they win another championship and they end up with 2 out of 3, there's nobody in hockey doing that right now. So the beauty of this team is they're getting everybody's best punch every single minute on the ice, every period, every game. They took a hell of a punch yesterday, and they did not come in playing well and lost by 1 goal in overtime. If you lose any confidence in this isn't the Dolphins, dude. Okay? All right? The Dolphins don't even have the balls to get to this stage. They don't have the guts. They don't have the talent. They don't have the team. They don't have the direction. Nothing. They don't resemble anything like the Panthers. So that's one thing I talked about yesterday. Do not bring your weak-ass Dolphins lack of confidence into this equation. Now that the Heat are soft, because that's what the Heat now develop, a soft team, this isn't the Heat. Okay? They don't have fake stars like Bam and Tyler. They have real stars on this team. So, let's go. You need to toughen up like the Panthers. So any of you out there that might be wobbling, you need to toughen up like the Panthers is what you need to do. Have some confidence. They deserve every ounce of confidence right now. And to me, dude, they played a bad game. Big deal. Let's go. They played a bad game and barely lost. And by the way, they are great. This is a great team. They win some of those games. That's what great teams do. They win they blow you out. They manhandle you. They win close ones, and they win ugly ones. And they do it all the time. So yesterday they played a great team. You tip your hat to Edmonton. They deserve it, dude. Their best 2 players finished that game. Congratulations to them. Boys got to come back, play sharper, and they'll be fine. They can even up this series and come home and take home ice from them. That's all. So this is going to be a long series. They're not going to blow out Edmonton. They're not going to just, squash them. They're a hell of a team, and they're hungry. So what I said yesterday, I'll say it again today. Today is just about being a respectful fan and just say, hey, man, our team is awesome. They didn't play their best game. Tip your hat to Edmonton. They were ready. They're hungry. They want revenge. They got a slice of it. But they had to come back to win it. Okay? It's not like they went and dominated this game from beginning to end or any of that. Okay? So remember that. And if the Panthers come back and play their game and they play the way they're supposed to play in game 2, I got a good feeling that the Panthers can even up this series a game apiece and we'll be just fine. I wasn't worried when they went down 2-0 to Toronto, and I know this is a better team than Toronto. Don't get me wrong. Okay, it is a much tougher team than Toronto. But I also know they're not tougher than the Panthers. So this physical play will wear on them as this series goes on. And that will the pendulum will swing to the Panthers. That's how this always starts. So, calma. Take it easy. Relax. Pump the brakes. Everything will be just absolutely fine. David Dwork, by the way, will join us at the bottom of the hour, and we'll have some fun with the Dworkster. Yes, sir.
By the way, it looks like it's going to be official. The Steelers hate Mike Tomlin.
They hate Mike Tom?
Yes.
Oh, why? Because they gave him Aaron Rodgers?
Looks like Aaron Rodgers plans to sign with the Steelers, per the insiders. Ian Rappaport just put that out.
Right.
It's official.
Okay. Wow. Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Bob was phenomenal. And, I mean, one of the goals had two defenders in front of his ass blocking him. He couldn't see the puck at all. Not his fault. And then the other goal, he had 2 saves on, and then they gets the perfect bounce to the guy on the far side, and he had to make like 3 saves. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Sometimes shit doesn't roll your way, and they didn't play a good game. I have no concerns. I'm sorry, I have no concerns. I'm not looking this in Heat glasses or Dolphin glasses or Canes glasses. Football. No, I'm not looking. Those people don't give us any confidence in anything. We have to manufacture all of that. Okay, this is different. We have a foundation here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good, man. I am not worried whatsoever. Let's see. I see Brian and NorCal in. Jay Gelfin, thank you, sir. For Lauderdale United playoff watch party. Where is that at? That'll be on Sunday. Nice. Going by Caneswear. There you go. Big 010. Get 10% off there at Caneswear. Tell them that Big O sent you. Any of your Panther gear, you can get it there. Dolphins, Marlins, Inter Miami, all that stuff. Get 10% off. Use our code Big O10. I will be in Tampa, my friend. I will be with Metallica for this weekend and Burn Steakhouse. So I tried staying up last night, but it was too late. I had to make it up with the show this morning. Thank you, Big Johnson, for watching the show. Yes, watch our post game, hit the like button. You know what I mean? Get the algorithms going. We'd appreciate it immensely. Sweet Baby Ray says, good afternoon, Owen Sean. Start thinking of dinner options at Disney Springs. So when you come up for the Culture concert, dinner is on me. I love it. Very nice of you, sir. Very nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I see. What else do we have on the chat board? One-Eyed Jack says, I bought more Bitcoin at 105 last night. We're under 103 now. Time to panic. Sell. You just never. I don't worry about where I buy it. I know you're the same, One-Eyed Jack. You don't really care. You bought already probably a 103 before, a 101 or a 99 or a 98 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's all going to go up anyway. It's just good right now. It's fine. Hey, listen, I can show it to you. I put it out on my X at Big O Show, and it's on Instagram too, and it's on Threads, and it's on Blue Sky. The dollar since January 1st has lost almost 9% of its value. You think things are cheaper to buy now, like they said they were going to be? No, your dollar's lost 9% of its value. And the government today printed $20 billion. Do you know why they printed $20 billion? Because they had to buy back their debt. They can't even sell their debt like they used to. And they need to print even more to sell. That's going to be a real problem for our country. Oh, and by the way, it doesn't help when your president is pissing off every country with tariffs, and then you're asking them to buy your debt. By the way, China has sold $140 billion of our debt. Japan is going to be selling our debt too now. And what are we going to do? We're going to end up buying it. How do they buy it? They print it. What happens when you print it? You devalue the money. One-Eyed Jack knows exactly what I'm talking about. Bitcoin only grows. Anyway, let's see. What else do we have going on? Thank you, Dennis. Fluke Games, South Florida will have more championship gold after all is said and done. That's right, Dustin. I agree. I'm just worried that Edmonton is more motivated than we are. Remy, the motivation is there. They just weren't. Haven't you noticed when they have a whole bunch of days off, they just don't play sharp that first game? That's all that was yesterday. And they led. So, and dude, they're playing a hell of a team. They're playing a great team. You got to beat a great team twice to win the cup. That's also pretty special. I mean, you know, if they lose against us, Like, they're going to start breaking teams up because they have to build teams to beat us. I think we built our team to beat Tampa. So Toronto goes, yeah, we're pretty good, but we can't beat them. And them is the ba. And if them is the ba, we must get to the ba. Okay? And that's the problem. So the Panthers are so good, they're going to start breaking teams up. Because they're going to say, yeah, we're all right, but we're not constructed to win. I wonder who used to say that. Oh, that was the Panthers used to say that. We're not constructed to win because they were soft. You get to the playoffs, you get pushed around. Now they do all the pushing around. So I really I am enjoying, like I told you, I'm enjoying all of this. I'm not going to allow any FUD. I'm not going to allow people to tell me anything negative right now because they have earned all the benefit of the doubt. Okay? The owner, the GM, the head coach, the players, what they have earned from us is full support. Support in every single moment that's going on with that team. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever. This is when we have to blindly fall in. Okay? When they are what this is now, this is what we sell out for. This is why you all buy the tickets and the jerseys and why you go to the bars and why you're talking with your friends, your coworkers. This is what gives you a little pep in your step in your day because it's fun to watch one of your sports teams actually be elite. Elite. And it's really cool to have an elite team. And you're the envy of the league. And that's what you are right now. So to feel any negativity or any down after the first game in the Stanley Cup, when it's the third straight year that you're in it, you're cheating yourself right now. You should be feeling the same way I do. All right, dude, didn't play well. No big deal. They're going to come back, and they're going to be better than they were last night. And let's see what happens then. And I cannot wait. Well, I won't be able to see it. I'll probably watch it after because I can't be on the phone and watching Metallica. There's no way. I want to be jamming a Metallica. I made these plans a long time ago. So, it is what it is. I'll watch it when I get off and I get back to the hotel room. I'll be able to get back online and watch the game. And hopefully I'm watching a win. I will look at the score. I will know. I'm not that person. I can know the score and then go watch it one way or the other. It doesn't matter because I want to watch and see what goes on so I can actually talk about it. So don't forget, folks, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. And as you see there, R&M Contractors, of course, Ray, great people there, proud sponsor of our program. I'll get to that in a moment, but of course, give Ray a call, 305-345-3649 for complete remodel, kitchen upgrades with appliances and all. If you own a condo, and I know there's a lot of issues out there, one of the things you want is for your insurance and all that, you want waterproofing for your terrace and balcony and a flood test report. It's very important. And it's also protects you and your neighbors beside you, under you, all of that, because you don't want your problems to become their problems. Because then that becomes a bigger problem. You know what I'm saying? So reach out to Ray. They do it all, man. 305-345-3649. Condos or homes, call my friend Ray at R&M Contractors. All right. And don't forget, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, which we love, or Ethereum donation. And also Solana and Chainlink too is always appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a dip now too in Bitcoin, which is always good. I used to talk about like we have a dip at 37,000. We have a dip at 77,000. Now it's a dip at 103,000. You notice the trend? There's a trend, my friend. I hope you noticed the trend. What else do we have? Think Blue Dodgers checking in from LA. Oh, did you see the photo of only 5,000 attendance? Whoa, 5,000 paid. That's the season ticket holders. There wasn't 5,000 people there. And yesterday there wasn't even 500 people there. Yeah. And they got swept by the Rockies. And some people were, and again, you think I'm worried because they win a couple games that they're not on there. Bro, they'll be flirting with 100 losses. Worst case scenario, it's not like I betted the house or anything. If I lose, they lost 99, 98, but they're going to lose 100 plus. They'll lose. They're too young, too inexperienced. They're going to break down. It's just sad. It is what it is, dude. And they just got swept by the Rockies. That's all you need to know. They've completely gone the other way. They just surprised some people at the beginning because they're young. There's not enough tape on you. Now they get tape on all of them, and then they figure them all out. And they know how to attack the kiddies. And it takes a while for the kiddies to figure it out. Unless you have they're all phenoms. And I don't think that's the case. Right. And if there's a phenom, right, they'll be sold. Yeah, they'll be sold. Yeah. Once the Bitcoin matures, they'll sell it. Yeah. Now we keep meme coin. They should be called the meme coin Marlins. Marlin memes. The Miami memes. You see? Now the Panthers. Bob, Bitcoin. Verhage, Bitcoin. Kachuk, Bitcoin. Barkov, Bitcoin. It's amazing. Viola, Sifu and company, they deal in Bitcoin. The Marlins, they feel Doge and Shib. And dog with hat, Trump coin, Melania coin. That's what they're doing. That's the Marlins, the Miami memes. All right, let's talk about True Gold, which is of course the Bitcoin of the NHL, the Florida Panthers, with the one and only David Dwork. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, it's good to see you, man. Good to be on.
It's good to have you on, my friend. And it's good to have a real team in town right now because outside of the team you cover for the Hockey News, there's nobody else in town right now doing it this way, dude. It is, like yesterday, I'm looking at it, I'm going, okay, this is the third time they're in the finals. They've done this all on the road this year, completely. They're on the road now for game one against the same team they beat last year. That team is great. They're super motivated to beat them, okay? Everything has gone, that could possibly go against them because now where they're at, every night, every period, they're getting everybody's best. And that's what they've gone through now for the last few years. And last night they even led. And they didn't play well. And they ended up losing by 1 goal late in overtime. To me, I don't know how much, to use a Bitcoin term, I don't know how much bullish I can be about the Panthers when I put all of that into the equation. I mean, last night, 2 dudes blocked Bobby from one of the goals. And the other goal, the dude had 2 saves and then the damn fortunate third bounce to, not only did they play a great team, they were motivated, they had every break also go their way. So to me, I don't know how much more positive I could have been about that situation last night. And Bob was fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was a great game one. Super exciting. I mean, everything that we kind of figured it was going to be. Would have been nicer to see Florida come out on top at the end.
Yeah.
Both teams had their chances in overtime. And look, the Panthers are a team that they're quick to bounce back, as we've seen over the last several years. So I imagine that they're going to take what they like from this game and try to expand on it. And there's a lot that they're going to want to improve on. I mean, what do they have? Like 8 shots on goal between the third period and overtime. That's very un-Panthers like. So, I would expect to see them come back with a couple of different things after game one, seeing what Edmonton threw with them. But overall, I mean, we'll be treated to another long series if we're lucky, because that game one was great.
Yeah, that game one was phenomenal. And David, there is one kryptonite for them. Time. They hate time off. There's something about that when they get several days off, that first game, they're just not as sharp. You know what I mean? And yesterday they had several days off, and it somehow or another, they're not they did that a couple of series back too, when they had a couple of days off. They didn't, the Toronto series, I think it was. And they started in a hole because they had, I think, several days off too. They don't do well with rest. How about that? Is that crazy?
I think at this point of the season, if you're not just amped up and want to play a game every other day or even every day, then there's something a little wrong with you, just because this is what we all dream about, right? It's the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's the Stanley Cup final. So having that big gap between games, I'm sure nobody was too happy about it, because, practice is nice and it's fun. You're hanging out with your buddies. You're going over things that you've been going over for, months and months now. But the game's what we really want to get to. So it wouldn't be surprising for either
practice
team.
is the worst thing to cover. And from what I remember, it's the most boring shit there is in the world. Football practice is way better. When you walk in, at least, and you watch a little bit of basketball practice, is way better. Hockey, because the games are so brutal, you don't really get it's not like they're scrimmaging or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's really boring shit sometimes, man. So yeah, I get it. The practice is not you do that every day. It's not the same as a game. It just doesn't even come close, dude. God.
No. I mean, you might be barking up the wrong tree just because I'm a little bit of a hockey nerd and I get off on seeing certain things happen. But I mean, I see where you're coming from, and that a hockey practice they are very, very rare that you see anything that resembles a game at a hockey practice. And as you said, even in football, as brutal and as physical as that sport can be, you can still see football at a football practice. You still get excited when Tua hits Waddle or Tyreek deep down the sideline, or somebody breaks through a big run. And in hockey, it's like, they're practicing a shootout. That should be much more exciting than it is, but it's not.
Yeah, but hockey practice is more mental, psychological. It's not a physical thing, because the game and the season crushes you, and and especially if you're a team like the Panthers, that you add 3 months of playoffs on top of all of that. Football doesn't even come close to hockey overall. And I hate if people don't understand that, but that is the truth. And so it's so draining that you can't, there's no way you could ever have hockey practice to ever, come even close to a game. It would be catastrophic for your team.
No, for sure. And it's more just like taking a video session and executing it in 3D on the ice. Just because, hockey, more than any other sport, you have to be going 100 miles per hour from the moment your skates hit the ice till you're back on the bench, and things happen so fast that all you can do is prepare yourself for muscle memory for any ridiculous situation that might happen to you while you're on the ice, because you don't know. So hockey practice, it's hard to really equate that to a game. It's learning things, trying to get those routes down. It's not that dissimilar from football practice, in that they're trying to learn a lot of those kind of plays and routes and things of that nature, especially with the Panthers, because they play such a tight 5-man defensive unit. But yeah, I see where you're coming from with hockey practice. I'd rather be on the ice taking the shots than watching it from the stands.
Yeah, I know. I covered hockey practice, and it wasn't anything. The funnest part for me of hockey practice was on the Pompano rink. That was on US 1. I forgot what the hell that one was called. Do you remember that one in the early days?
Gold Coast?
Yeah. I think it was called Gold Coast. Yeah, you were young as hell because this was in the 90s.
For sure.
What year were you born?
83.
Yeah, so you were like freaking 13, 14 years old, and when I was covering the team in the mid 90s. So the fun part was actually after practice because the rink was right. Literally, you had no privacy. You had to walk right into the parking lot, and it was right there with the public. Dude, it was like 200-300 people every day in the mid 90s because of the buzz and all that. That was the fun part. Actually, watching the guys come out and be so cool with the fans all the damn time, dude. Hockey players are the best. It's not even close.
No doubt.
It's not even close. Educate us on this, and you're also a goalie. Yesterday, when the two guys blindside Bob to the left side and leave to his right and leave the left open, and then obviously they score the goal. Did those two guys fundamentally do something wrong by not creating lanes and space for the goalie? So at least they could give him vision that where he has, more 90-degree vision, in other words, in front of him, where he didn't, where he could not see a certain section there. And then that was a real liability for Bob yesterday. So fundamentally, what was the breakdown there defensively? And then I know Barkov also was chasing somebody and he got out of the play too.
Yeah, those situations are tough. Like when you've got the puck, when it's in your defensive zone, if you have an opportunity to give your goalie a clear line of sight at a far off shot, always you want to do that. However, when the puck's moving around a lot and there's a lot of motion going on, guys are trying to cover things, guys are trying to block shots. It's a little bit more difficult. And there's no like black and white rule for that one. It's very situational. So in that situation, like I can understand why the defensemen were trying to do what they were doing.
Right.
Playing.
They thought they were cutting off an angle. Right.
Yeah, of course. You think you're doing the right thing in the moment. And also you don't know that the shot's necessarily coming in that moment either, because it's not like they're setting up for a one time. So it's really kind of tough to pick apart those kind of defensive plays after the fact. Like obviously Bob would be the first one to tell you that his guys are doing exactly what he would want them to do and trying to clean up around the net, to keep the house clear and to take away all those second opportunities. But yeah, it was just tough on Bob. And for a game where he gave up 4 last night, it's hard to really fault him on any of them, because if it wasn't a screen, it was a funky play in front of the net. And for all the pucks that he saw last night, I thought Sergei Bobrovsky was pretty good in game 1.
I thought he was fantastic, dude, yesterday.
Yeah.
In fact, they should have lost by a lot more. How about that? I could argue they might have had maybe another goalie. You never get to overtime. How about that?
No, Edmonton swarmed the Panthers for a lot of parts of that second and third period, or that first period particularly, and the third period. Obviously, they outshot Florida. I think it was like 16 or 17-2 or whatever, some ridiculous number. But no, Bob was huge for the Panthers last night. If they get that kind of goaltending from Bob for the rest of this series, it'll go a long way for Florida to come back on Edmonton, which we all know that they're perfectly capable of. But particularly if Bob is as good as he was in game 1, the result will probably go Florida's way.
It's pretty amazing what this team is doing, man. I mean, and then in a way I wanted Dallas, but this actually, if you accomplish this makes it even more special, because you're actually beating another great team to win the cup. You're not beating, some upstart. You're not beating some team that just got hot all of a sudden and things went their way, and they're the Miami Heat and Embiid was injured and Giannis is injured, and here you are, you got through Boston and oh wow, you're in the finals, and you belong nowhere next to Denver. You know what I mean? That's not the case here. You're beating a team that could easily be holding the cup just like you, which is pretty freaking special, bro.
It's cool that like we get this rare final rematch, which already there's only been like 2 in 40 years or whatever it's been. But both teams are so hungry after just being there last year. They both are improved over the teams from last season. They know each other so well. Like it's you could already tell from game 1, it was just a completely different feel from so much of the final from last year, just because both teams are that much more mature, that much tougher, that much deeper. So as you said, we're treated with this. And hopefully, as much as I don't want to travel back to Edmonton as much as we did last season. A 7-game series is, I feel like, what hockey fans deserve with two teams this good playing this well right now.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do, my brother? I know. I wish, actually, for your purposes, I wish it was Dallas, because traveling would be so much easier for you guys to go from Dallas to Miami and back.
Oh yeah,
that would be fantastic.
That was at the front of our minds during the Western Conference Final for sure.
Yeah,
but
Edmonton is all connections, right? You have to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. I know. I get that. All right. So you're a goalie. You know the game well. You've been covering it for years. And now that you're covering it also, you get to cover it during the good times, and you got to cover it during the tough times. You're Paul Maurice. You're the players. What are they discussing right now that they were unhappy with in game one?
I think letting Edmonton dictate their style of play a little bit more than Florida was dictating their own. I think Florida found themselves a little bit bogged down, stretching the puck a little bit more. Like instead of getting it deep, we saw a lot of icing plays last night at certain segments of the game that was pretty uncharacteristic of, I mean, both teams really, but for what Edmonton was trying to do to Florida, stretching out their play. I mean, you saw what Edmonton was doing on their power play. Florida is known for having such an aggressive penalty kill, and Edmonton kept all their guys so spread apart right up until the point of attack. It was pretty impressive to see how they were kind of learning off of one each other as the game progressed. But to see the adjustments from game one to game two, as to answer your question, I mean, this is a team that's bounced back so well so many times that I wouldn't imagine anybody is feeling anything but anxiousness to get back on the ice and make up for, I guess you would say, a rough segment there. Particularly, I just keep going back to the third period where they really struggled to maintain puck possession, which is an area that they're so good at in so much of the season. So just from game one to game two, I'll just be looking for them to kind of hang on to the puck a little bit more, see a few bit more shots on goal, and maybe try to get into a few more passing lanes. I mean, they did give up what it was like 33, 34 shots or whatever it was, a fairly high amount for Florida. Granted, it is Edmonton and they were at home, but when the Panthers are doing what they do defensively, we know that they're on their game. So we'll see how they adjust from game one to game two. But overall, they've been so good at making adjustments and keeping their cool and the experience and everything that I would, not be too worried about things if I'm a Panthers fan.
All right. Before the series started, one of the things that, there are a couple of things. This team is awesome, but they do have a couple of bugaboos that show up every once in a while. It's not habitual, but it becomes a little bit of an issue. They gave up a few shorties this year on power plays. 2, they've given some odd men rushes, and those are things you don't want to do. And in the last series, Bob was fantastic the times it happened. And that's where you hope that when you have a great goalie, you don't want that to happen much. But when it does happen, you want him to win those challenges more often than not. So you don't want those kind of things to happen, especially against a team like this with that kind of special speed that Connor has. The other one, stupid penalties. And the game ended on a stupid penalty. And that's one thing that I got to imagine they're talking about today. Fellas, we're playing a team that we cannot give them freebies. And so that's something that they've got to watch out, because, that last penalty, come on, dude, that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't want to be giving a team like Edmonton 5 power plays in a game. Credit, they had killed off everything until the overtime, but a team that's as skilled as Edmonton, and you could argue that they're very similarly in terms of at least the top half of their roster. I mean, they've got 2 of the best players in the world off the top. So even without Zach Hyman, Edmonton's got a lot of firepower. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see if and how Florida tries to control that, because I know they were trying to keep at least their top D pairing, Forsling and Ekblad last night, and that didn't really end up too well. Just looking at the numbers after the fact, it's tough. But that's at this point of the season, that's what you're going to get, right?
Yeah, I get, but you have to kind of limit those things are going to happen. The way the Panthers play defense, there's a couple of odd men rushes. It's going to happen, dude. You know what I mean? You don't want a lot of that to happen, obviously. But the one thing you also don't want against this team, dude, please do not give away stupid penalties. And
you got to stay out of the box for sure. Yeah. I mean, remember last year during the final,
last one was unacceptable. That last one was that one is unforgivable. I almost understand one where a guy turns a corner on you and he's about to maybe get a breakaway, get an edge on you, and you kind of hook them, you reach them. Dude, I get that. I understand. But that one last night, that's a sour way to kind of end. And that's against that team. You can't do shit like that. You just can't.
No, it's a rough call. It's a rough play for Nosek to make. And look, I know that Podkolzin was right there. It sounded like there was some stick contact with the puck, like watching it back, but whatever the play was, the penalty was called. I just don't want to go get too. It's not like he was standing there by himself and he just shot it up out of the ice.
I get it.
Get too much on Thomas Nosek. Just nobody's going to feel worse than him. And I think at the end of the day, whether it's a delay of game, whether it's a hook, whether it's there was some errant high sticks that happened last night that you wonder, like, how is that happening? No matter what the call is, you got to stay out of the box against a team like Edmonton. Because as good as Florida's penalty kill has been, and as great as they've been on the road, you can't hang your hat on that. Like, okay, we're going to lean on this. Like, we're going to be fine. No, this Edmonton team is too good, and they're going to pick you apart. So Florida, they've got to be sharper. Totally agree.
I'm with you. It's a nice lesson learned. Like, we got to be really sharp, and these kind of little mistakes can be catastrophic for for them, for us. We got to stay away from this. And then one more thing, and obviously a hell of a lot more than I ever will about this. On the power play, one of the things that's good for Florida, if Connor McDavid's out there against you, he loses a superpower, the open ice and speed. So on that 4-on-3, since he wasn't starting from the other side, which nobody's going to stay with the dude, I noticed that if you keep him in space, at least, he's dangerous. But if he doesn't have that open ice, that's when he becomes unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? So I noticed that in that especially at 4-on-3, that was so awesome by the Panthers to survive that. But again, that speed factor was a little bit out of McDavid's toolbox at that moment.
I think that's the scariest part of his game, is when he gets his wheels going and moves up and down the ice. Like, it's a blur. And when you combine that with the hands that he has and the stick handling the ability that he has, he's just unstoppable. So it's scary to think about just some of the plays that he's made, and even just watching him skate up and down the ice last night. So, like, I get it. It's definitely, if you're going to say the lesser of two evils, having him, working the puck in the offensive zone as opposed to like flying with speed into it. 100%. No. What really impressed me with his speed last night was when he was killing penalties, though. Like, the way he was able to keep up, go from zone to zone, and shut down a few different plays on the same couple of rushes. That could be another X factor that Florida's going to have to figure out a way to deal with, because he was very dynamic and effective on the PK.
Sometimes there are great players that are great offensive players, and then there are those great offensive players that also have the great vision. And, that's what made Gretzky what he was. Not only could he score, his vision to make passes that nobody could see. And then how did the game end? Connor McDavid making the pass.
A gorgeous pass.
Yeah. Gorgeous pass. And so those special dudes that just like a Barkov, he'll kill you every one way or the other. He killed you with a defensive play. He'll kill you with an assist. He'll kill you with a goal. It doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to kill you because he's super special, and it's just one of those kind of guys, man. They're just other level, You'll see those guys that are snipers, but they're not great passers. They're not the same. And it's a whole different when you're dealing with those kind of monsters, brother, the game's it's that much harder, bro. And then you bring on Connor McDavid's speed. I was like, wow, dude. And I was, hey, man, at least in the power play, even on 4-on-3, I was going, shit, at least he can't use his speed. And I was like, yeah. It was great.
No,
all right. So
hockey IQ is off the charts, man.
Who?
So all those, McDavid, Barkov, Gretzky, all the guys you mentioned, but McDavid, it's crazy because he's moving so fast, and the way that he can still see things develop despite moving faster than anybody else on the ice, it's awesome. Otherworldly. It's really cool to be able to see it.
It's super awesome to watch, man. So give me a prediction. What do you think happens game 2?
I would think the Panthers are going to bounce back. They've been pretty good about it. They're not going to want to go home down 2-0 as they did against Toronto. Like that was a tough hole to climb out of, even though they were able to. I think, obviously you don't want to do that against this Oilers team. So I would think that Florida's going to come out and do their best to stay out of the box, as we talked about, maintain a bit more puck possession, and try to tilt the scales a little bit more. Because, as much as you can poke holes in their game one, they were right there. You know, they were one shot away from winning that game. So, you know, we'll see. This is a team. It's a very, what's that? I lost the word. They bounce back. They're not residual.
Resilience.
Thank you. There it is. Thank you, Orlando. They're a resilient bunch. So I would expect that to happen in game 2.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at David Dwork, the Hockey News. Tell him about the Hockey Show. The Show.
Yes. Every Friday, Roy Bellamy and I from the Levitard Show, we have the Hockey Show that goes on all the Levitard channels. This Friday for game 2, tomorrow night, we're going to be doing a watch party at the Dead Flamingo, formerly Casa Tiki, down in Little Havana. So if you want to stop by and watch the game there with us, that'd be cool. If you can't stop by, we're going to be streaming it on YouTube as well. So it's fun. Roy and I have some fun. We're just a couple of hockey nerds, and we've been blessed with this team doing so well.
Finally,
so,
damn, man.
Yeah, no,
have good ownership.
It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's great to have good ownership, and that's why this is happening. If it's not for Viola, this shit doesn't happen, bro.
No, it's got to start from the top.
And Zito is the magic man, bro. He is the magic man. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Dwork, and you're getting everything you deserve, bro. After all these years, you had the roughest beat, and second because the Marlins is the roughest. Man, now you got the best beat in town, baby. So enjoy, my friend. Appreciate you.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you as well.
You got it. There you go. David Dwork getting it done. The Hockey News, also the Hockey Show. You can check that out and support him and follow him because he's good people. Always has been, always will be. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. The Panthers last night lost to Edmonton 4-3 in overtime. Edmonton now leads 1-0 in this best of 7 series. Game 2 will be on Friday. All right. Game 2 will be on Friday. So we'll find out what goes on. Tonight will be game 2 of the NBA. I mean, game 1 of the NBA Finals between the Indiana Pacers. You think they're got a shot against the OKC? We'll see. OKC favored by 9. Over and under is 231. Indy plus 320 on the money line. OKC minus 410, dude. That is some crazy stuff. The Dolphins signed defensive lineman Ben Stille for is that the 16th or 17th time that they signed Ben Stille? Anyway, there you go. And that's what's going on in the world of sports. Give our boys a ring at 3A Graphics. Call Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443 for custom printing and embroidery. Appreciate you all out there as always. Thank you. Today is day number 18,728. That is 18,728 days since the Dolphins have lifted the Vince Lombardi trophy. Okay. Who's this idiot, Humble and Kind? Does he know any rules here on the show? Humble and Kind, no spamming here, my brother. Just get a question in, get out if we answer, whatever. But that's the stuff that gets you blocked, that gets you kicked out, just so you'll know. So it's up to you if you want to keep being a jagoff, you go ahead, but you'll get blocked. NorCal, out of the garden and into the gym. Oh, I like it. Oscar C. in football news. Yes, I know. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, where else was he going to go? What, he was waiting for the Minnesota thing. They didn't want him, apparently. They were willing to take a chance. They drafted the kid. They're going to go with the kid and go for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh. You know what I compare Pittsburgh a lot with right now? The Miami Heat. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Heat have a great coach, and the front office is failing both of them. Look at the crap that Aaron Rodgers has to coach at quarterback year in, and year out. He doesn't control the draft. They haven't been drafting nearly as well in Pittsburgh. And, dude, they end up drafting the weirdest characters at wide receiver constantly. Holy shit, dude. I've never seen a team outside of the Kansas City Chiefs that know how to draft more morons at wide receiver, where you can never keep anybody long term because every one of them is a damn head case. No problem. No problem. Thank you. So it's just crazy. It's insanity, dude. And then I look at the Heat, and they keep doing this stupid shit about giving away picks and players. You know, the latest was Terry Rozier, another stupid first rounder. And, you know, and the Heat never have first rounders, and they don't have stars. And then you're asking Spo to make chicken salad out of chicken. You know, that Mike Tomlin and Eric Spoelstra, it's the same shit, dude, going on. Two great coaches, and the people above them are mismanaging what's going. And I'm not saying to fire Riley. I'm just saying, bro, get your shit together, man. You know, adjust to what's going on. Stop living in the past. I'm sorry. Stop living in the past. Adjust to what's going on now. And he refuses to adjust. And the Pittsburgh thing, wow. Wow. Wow, wow, and wow. It's not the same organization because they're not bringing in the same kind of players anymore. And that's the front office. And then you're asking this guy to go into the kitchen, and you're not giving him the ingredients that he needs. And he still maximizes, just like Spo, whatever you give him. It's not like you're going to get anything better out of it. Every year, what do we say about Tomlin? Holy shit, he got them to the playoffs. Holy shit, he got into the playoffs again. Huh? Yeah. It's like, and again with Spo, holy shit, he made these guys play better. Like, wow, they're here. Like, how does he do this shit? Wow. And it same thing, dude. It is shocking. Two organizations that have two great coaches, and they're ruining their window. At least Spo has a few championships when they gave him players, you know, so that's cool. And Tomlin was able to get one, but dude, Ben Roethlisberger got old on him, and then he hasn't had anything. And now he's got to work with a broken down and totally twisted Aaron Rodgers that is going to start just talking shit in the locker room to people. Crazy shit. Yeah, no, I'm going to Area 51 during the break. Yeah, no, there's Martians there. I'm going to go hang out with them. Going to be in a dark room with a Martian. I don't know. Just a weird thing, isn't it? And that's kind of the way I view those situations. So identical. So identical. It's crazy. Burn Steakhouse is legendary, and I can't wait to enjoy it, my friend. I am with you there. I am with you there. Wow. Did you block him or something? Oh, he like erased it all? Or did they pass him up already? Oh, good. Oh, you have him there? Okay. I guess here he kind of erased it or something. Good. Nice job by you. Nice job. Pace, bro. Everybody can have some fun. Everybody can say a word here and there. And we don't allow the spamming. And we don't allow people to go dominating thinking that this is their talk show or some shit like that. There's only one big O. That's it. We run the bitch, and that's the way it goes. Rosendo, Unfortunately, I lost connection last night, so I couldn't watch the game. But what, in your opinion, on the Bennett trip that led to a goal? Oilers fans were being it's fans. In the end, we got the goal. We got the goal on that one when they tripped Bennett, and then the replay got it right. That's the beauty of it. But fans are of course, they're gonna complain about that, dude.
If it would have been the other way around, it'd be the other way around.
They would love it.
It was Bennett embellishing, but doing it through the process of the rules, because by the letter of the rules, Bennett was tripped. So
and it's Bennett.
Yeah, no,
and it's an instigator.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what they're
another thing on top of that.
They're talking about inside the NHL. They're like, most players wouldn't have thought to go forward into the goalie because they would have been trying to stay away from the goalie. But he was going into the goalie at the same time the shot was coming. So
right.
And by letter of the law, it was a trip.
It was a trip. And it was a trip.
Yeah, no, it was.
Kudos to the refs. They got it right. You know, talk about Dolphin mentality. I told someone that our team lost to the Oilers. They said figures. They always said they have trouble with the Oilers, especially with Sammy Smith fumbled against them twice into the end zone. Ocala Joe in the house, listening live and loving it, smashing, and Caspa too. What else? The Terry Rozier trade has to be the worst trade in Miami Heat history. Maybe like Austin for Brent Barry is a close second. Yeah, the Brent Barry trade wasn't very good either. Yeah, it's just crazy. Lenny Pena, thank you, sir. Says that's a great analogy, Big O. The Steelers are the Miami Heat of the NFL and vice versa. It's what's going on, if we're honest with ourselves. And I love Riley, dude. I got nothing against Riley, but I'm going to tell Riles, you haven't been yourself, bro. And you refuse to change. I got to call it like I see it, you know. And we've had this whole silliness with Bam and Tyler that too many of you and the team made those guys out to be more than what they really are, you know. It was amazing when even Ira came around with me and said, yeah, it's time to trade him. You know, if you cannot impose your offensive will in this league, you're not a star. You're just not a star. With or without Rodgers, I don't see the Steelers being a very good team this year. I agree. And I don't blame Tomlin either. I don't blame Spo. I have other issues what goes on with those kind of players. I may be wrong, but wasn't Tomlin's Super Bowl win mainly with Bill Cowher's players? Well, it's even not Bill Cowher's players. He also had a GM too. The head coaches didn't really pick the players. But it was a lot of the leftovers, and then the front office since then. What is it? Omar Khan is the guy that's there now, or whatever. He's not. He has not done a good job, dude. Or is Khan the one in Baltimore that he took over for Ozzie? Huh? In Steelers, it's Omar Khan, right? And he came from Baltimore. I think that's how it is. So yeah, Omar Khan has not done well. So they drafted better in the Cowher years and in the Noel years, obviously. Oh my God, what they drafted in the Noel years was amazing, and in the Cowher years is pretty special too. But listen, look at all their receivers. How is it that every receiver they draft is a head case? By the way, we're giving you $100 here at Hialeah Park. $100 no regret first bet, baby. That's right. The Brunetti family, Steve Calabro, all the great people out here at Hialeah Park. We got the Panthers are in it. We've got the NBA finals starting tonight. Okay. A lot of stuff to wager on. You can make some money on the Marlins losing. So use that QR code right there. If you're listening on the podcast, go to YouTube, find it there, or go to the Hialeah Park website and sign up through there. If you already have a Hard Rock account, use a different email or cell phone, whatever it is, and then you'll be able to get your free $100. It's a beautiful thing, man. So check it out and come on out here at Hialeah Park, and they're always giving stuff away. By the way, when you play the slot games down there, you get the entries for any of the giveaways. Cars, Bitcoin, gold. They just gave away. Now is a Jeep. This month is a Jeep. This month is a Jeep, but they just gave away last week $50,000 of gold. And the week before that, $50,000 of gold. And the month before that, Bitcoin. I think it was $100,000, right? 50,000 of Bitcoin.
Yeah, 50,000 of Bitcoin, 100,000 of gold over the 2 weekends.
I would kill for 50,000 Bitcoin. Oh my God. In 5 years, 50,000 of Bitcoin turns into half to $750,000.
And remember, Steve said they took the cash.
Yeah. Well, 5% of the world owns Bitcoin, 95 don't. So 95 don't understand Bitcoin. Sad. Good thing is, a lot of people on this show know and are way ahead and get it. So that is one thing it's the most happiest thing I've ever done in my 35 years of doing this. Okay? Is enlightening people on Bitcoin. Better than any sports subject I've ever talked about, any story I've ever broken, any prediction I've ever made. Helping people have a better life. That is the most satisfying thing there is in the world. Right there. Helping your fellow man. That, my friends, is what it's all about. So, Elon Musk just dropped a tweet. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein's files. This is the real reason they have not made it public. Have a nice day. It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. I mean, the videos are out there already of him hanging with him and laughing and pointing at all the women and all that kind of stuff. I mean, whatever. We have people that are programmed and all that kind of stuff, unfortunately. Sadly, too many of you are cheerleaders for one party or another or a politician. And, the beauty is that I think there's a lot of people like me, like 30% of us are in the middle. People like, I think, Sean, you're like that too, that we're in the middle. The problem is there's the other 30% that are far right and then the other 30% that are far left, and we can't help those people. So sad, but I think there's a lot of us in the middle. Did you see the woman that was a press secretary for Biden? Is that what she did? She left the Democratic crappy party and went independent. More of us should. That's what we need to do. It'll happen when I die. 20 years from now, a generation from now or something, a third party will finally emerge from, and people will finally get rid of these, get away from these two stupid parties. It'll be a beautiful day. The middle party will come up, and it'll be just glorious. Finally, the people with common sense, not the idiots on the far left and the far right. I look forward to that day. I really do. Instead of listening to that. I mean, yesterday, Elizabeth Warren and Trump agreeing to just eliminate the debt ceiling and just let's open up the printer. That's all I needed. That's all I needed right there. That was beautiful. So beautiful. Tomlin has then most apologists for his poor coaching. Kosa, anybody that thinks that Tomlin is a poor coach or whatever, he's not going to trash the front office or whatever. He's going to be a stand-up human being because he's a man's man. He doesn't point fingers. He takes responsibility. Does Spo? What does Spo say? We have enough. We have enough. Really? Really? So, Kosa, don't go there, bro. Don't go there. Don't go there. Okay? Spo and Tomlin are men. Spo and Mike Tomlin are character human beings. They're men. They stand by their word. They stand by their character. They stand by their determination. They are who they are. There's no phoniness in Eric Spoelstra. There's no phoniness in Mike Tomlin. Okay? And they're going to be steadfast, and they're going to man a ship, and they're not going to panic. And they know what's going on, but their job is to be a leader. Their job is not to panic and start pointing fingers. Behind the scenes, they can go mother F whoever, and they can have they can air out their grievances and all that good stuff. But when men handle things the right way, it's when you see people like Eric Spoelstra and Mike Tomlin. And what's going on is the people above them are failing them. The people that are in charge of the personnel, ownership, they're not providing the tools these great men need in order to accomplish their job. But they're not going to be the people that then say, oh, no, it's not me, it's them. No, it's not me, it's that player. He's not going to do that. He's not going to tell you how crazy his receivers are. Does he ever? No. Did you ever find out about what a nutbag Antonio Brown is? Not under Mike Tomlin. We ended up finding out what a dirtbag Ben Roethlisberger is because it was done with the law. He was caught in a rape trial. Okay? And then you have Le'Veon Bell, who still says stupid shit to this day. This is what you give this guy, and he still finds ways to make something out of it. So Mike Tomlin is top-notch. Top-notch. Spo, elite. There's top-notch right there. They don't get any better than those guys at all. What you're doing is not providing for them. That's the problem. And that's what happens sometimes to players. They're in bad situations, or coaches. And right now, Spo is in a bad cycle. He was in a better cycle before. The first 10 years. These last 10 years, he's in a bad cycle. That's kind of the way it goes, unfortunately. And Mike Tomlin got a slice of the good pie when he first got in. Now the pie has gotten sour, and he doesn't have the support on the other side. Doesn't mean he's not a great coach. Just like sometimes quarterbacks or other players, they end up in bad situations, and it's not really their fault. But you've got to be smart enough to kind of see through the trees and really understand that, you know? Let's see. Newsflash, nobody gives a shit about Tua's orange jersey or playlist. Right, yeah, that's but that's all. This is all, bro. What else do you have in mini camps? What else do you have to talk about? They're doing nothing right now. So and we won't find out if they have a real line in front of Tua until they have to line up and actually play like a real game. Maybe we'll get a little feel for the scrimmages, where the lines are at, and because they have no depth, and they have to hope all 5 linemen stay absolutely healthy. They're Eichenberg deep.
They should have him wear a cape on the sideline, so when they have to bring
Dun,
him
dun,
in,
dun.
or keep him in glass, and in case of emergency, break the glass, and he comes running out.
I say Liam waits on the sidelines in a phone booth.
Yeah, and then just change into the jersey.
And then when it comes out of the phone booth and
Captain Eichenberg.
The good thing is he'll step out of the phone booth, trip and fall, then get back up again and then keep going.
Yeah, he's got it. But that might be the only time he hits the ground then.
Okay, well,
maybe if we do it that way, we'll be all right.
Yeah. Liam,
you should trip running out to the field every time.
Trip yourself up before a play, and maybe you'll stay upright during a play. Just a suggestion there, Liam. Drunks can stay up more than Liam. Liam Eichenberg plays like he drank 4 bottles of Thunderbird. Yeah. Liam Eichenberg plays like he's got vertigo. I'll be here all night. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation on Venmo or on Cash App. Of course, you can make a Bitcoin donation, and we always appreciate it, or any kind of donation. Of course, we've got the super chats, but we always encourage the other ones because we get 100% there. Super chats stink, and YouTube takes 30%. So that's why we encourage you to go the other way. What else do we have? You know how you said newsflash, nobody cares about the orange jersey, which I'm with you all the way. Who gives a shit about, some silly ass practice with no pads or nothing like that? That's why you get people talking about Albert Wilson. And then what am I doing? Laughing the entire time on that. And I never get caught up in that silly hype during times of no. I learned my lesson years ago when I was young on the beat to never get hyped up on anything with shorts. I made those mistakes years ago. Brandon Manning and shit like that years ago. And I stopped a long time ago, but that's all right. Other guys are younger on the beat and they kind of have to learn their lessons and things like that. So it's all good. Here's a great headline. Okay. The Browns OC says you can see all of them winning the job, talking about all their quarterbacks on the Browns. Really? Really? Is Dylan Gabriel really winning your job? I know Deshaun Watson isn't because he's injured anyway, so he's out. But are you really starting Kenny Pickett? It's Joe Flacco or Shedeur Sanders. Who are we kidding here? But he's got to talk that, Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel have a shot. Because, of course, Dylan Gabriel was drafted higher than Shedeur. No, you got to be high if you think Dylan Gabriel is starting on this team. That's off-season headlines. That's mini-camp headlines. That you're quoting a coach feeding you bullshit, telling the public, I can see any of them winning the job. Yeah, sure, dude. Yeah, we know. We get it. The psychological game. Keep them all motivated here in June. And that's where in Cleveland talk shows, I don't know how many of those talk show hosts are actually stupid enough to try to repeat this shit. Hey, no, coach says Kenny Pickett's got a great shot at the job. Who knows? Maybe Dylan Gabriel's a real sleeper. Personally, if Shedeur Sanders is not your starter, you're screwed. That's the way I look at it. I mean, Joe Flacco is not a guy at this point that is, he'll try to keep you afloat, but he's not really going to be a difference maker anymore at this point. This makes no sense. That listener of ours, you remember, I think he left, or I don't know. I don't remember his name now. Maybe you do. Do you remember the guy that's a big Dolphins fan, but he's also a Pelicans fan and would always brag about Zion? Okay, I don't know if you're here, my brother. Much love to you, of course, but I am going to have fun at your expense or your team's expense or whatever. But it's funny because I'm preparing for the show, and Joe Dumars was an exceptional player. Dude, he was tough as nails, a guy that I have immense respect for as a player, okay? Seriously. As a player, he was awesome. A defender, he actually would give Michael Jordan, not stop because nobody ever stopped Michael Jordan, but there were times where Joe Dumars was a little bit of a pain in the ass for Michael Jordan. That in itself is like this incredible accomplishment. He wasn't a Jordan stopper. Sometimes some people would go that far, and there's no such that never existed. Okay, there's no such thing as a Jordan stopper. But he at times could alter a little bit, slow down. Okay, he could do it at times. And he was a champion. I mean, clutch player. You know, Isaiah was awesome. Not a great human being, but an amazing player. Joe Dumars was a stud as a person and a stud as a player and a leader and everything. As a general manager, he has been, you know, as bad as most great players that try to be general managers. And now with the Pelicans, this is awesome. He comes out and says, we're going to go forward with Zion. He's going to continue to be the focal point moving forward. I sent him to represent the Pelicans and the NBA lottery for a reason. I want him to start focusing on the responsibility of being the best player here and the focal point. There are some responsibilities that come with that. Go represent your organization. After all of this, okay? And he's not even durable either on top of all that. Besides irresponsible, he can't, his weight and all of that, and he just never really keeps it off permanently. Hopefully one day he does. But Joe Dumars has made so many mistakes as a general manager. I mean, really boneheaded moves. And now to take over this organization, and your first move is to continue with this screw up. Wow, dude. How you can put your faith in that guy is beyond me, I got to say. And you know what? I got to celebrate Sean. Because now I don't have to deal with dumbass Heat Nation, because there's a level of you people out there that are so stupid, you're so desperate, that you would want to actually take a chance on this loser. No, I know, but this guy's a loser. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Durant is not like, I know he's like a hard ass, like he's a difficult character, but he's a good player and he'll really play and he'll try, but he's old, dude. And, I don't want him. But okay, I get it. It's a different kind of gamble. This one's terrible in every way, fashion, or form. Disgusting. So to me, this has Miami Heat consequences, and they are super sweet. Because now I don't have to deal with, he'll be our reclamation project. We're going to make, it's let's bring Greg Oden. Let's resurrect Whiteside. Let's make Bam what he isn't, whatever, Terry Rozier what he isn't. They're starting to fail a lot now. They used to succeed a lot. Now they're failing a lot because they want to make certain players what they're not. And you keep Dion Waiters because he gave you 27 incredible games that he's never played in his life, and that's what you think he's going to be moving forward because you have the magic pixie dust. No, you don't, Miami Heat. You don't have the magic pixie dust. Why? Because you no longer are getting great players. You used to get great players. That's how you used to be a great organization. Now you think that you make and manufacture the great players, and you do not. You do not. You can manufacture and make serviceable and good rotational players. That you can do, ladies and gentlemen, but you're not developing superstars like it's a factory. So get off your high horse and get humble, get a nice slice of humble pie, and tear this goddamn team down and get as many picks as you can and reset. Do a real reset of this organization. Do the right thing for Spo. Anyway, Dolphins are bathtub deep. Yeah, they're not. Dolphins are terrible. We're in for a terrible year, unfortunately. Is Bitcoin going to dip below 100K? Doesn't matter. Buy. Every time I hear that, it's people that don't get it. None of you get it. That's a person that doesn't get it. Doesn't matter if you buy it at 100K or 90 or 105 or 110. Do you understand that 90 will be 15x from now and 100 will be 15x from 5 years from now, and $110 will be 15x from now? So whatever it is you buy, it's 15xing from here in the next 5 years. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's what I think is happening. So who cares, dude? Why are you going to wait? And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't fall to 100, and now it takes off to 110, and you could have bought it at 103. Who gives a shit? In fact, I think that guy that I told to buy 5 or 10,000 in Bitcoin, at that moment, it was like 55,000 or 60. It dipped. It dipped a couple thousand after that. And then where's it now? Is he worried because he bought it at 55 and it went down to 50 and now it's at 105? Who gives a shit? Seriously, guys, who cares? What are you worried about, 1,000 or 2? If you're buying it to get out next week, then okay, maybe you're worried about some kind of quick turnaround. But if you're holding it for the next few years, who cares? Buy and keep buying whenever you get a chunk, whenever you have discretionary income. Whatever, instead of going to the movies, buy some Bitcoin. Instead of treating yourself to Starbucks every day, which is a lot of money at the end of the month, do it only half the month and do the other half in a Bitcoin. You're going to see how it's going to multiply. And then you're going to go, wow, I should put more. You're worried about a little stupid dip here, there, whatever. Who cares, dude? And if the dip comes, you buy again. But you're not going to get many more dips, especially under 100K, I think. If it happens, so what? We get a 98, 99. You bought it at 104. So let me ask you something. You hold it, and Bitcoin's at 500,000. Are you going to speak with your buddy and you're going to get into a pissing war? Well, I bought it at 98. Well, I bought it at 102. Who cares, bro? It's at $500,000. Who cares? It's at 700,000. Oh, I bought it at 110. Oh, I bought it at 100. Who cares? You're all doing great. Really. You bought it at 130. You bought it at 100. It's at $1 million. Who cares? You're doing great. What it is get a slice of it. Get a slice of it. Get a slice of it so you can build the pie and get as much and try to get to 10, 20% of the pie. Or God bless you, if you got money, you end up getting a whole Bitcoin along the way. You know, the rich and the powerful are all scooping it up. That's all you need to know. Everybody with money and power, they're buying it like it's going out of style. Those of us that are broke, what are we doing? It's up to you. So it's up to you. What else? That's why the Browns are always who we know they are, just like the Dolphins. Yeah. Yep. And Brett, short-term volatility, long-term opportunity. Common sense. I'm buying. It's just dipping to 4% today. You're a smart man. That's what you are. You're a smart man. That's what I would say. Let's go with musicians born on this date today, which is June 5th, 2025. We're in studio tomorrow, by the way, folks. We are on at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Let's see. And David Furones and Manny Navarro will join us tomorrow. So we'll talk a little Dolphins and a little Miami Hurricanes. Not a lot of going on outside of Ben Stille. Did I miss anything? There's nothing. No trade on Jalen Ramsey. No trade with Jonnu Smith yet. So we're waiting for those trades to happen, and then we'll go. All right, let's move to birthdays. We got news? My boy's injured already. One boy. Richardson's already injured? He can't hit the ocean anyways. If Anthony Richardson could hit the ocean, then maybe the Colts could have something. That guy sucks, dude. What a freak of an athlete, but he sucks as a quarterback. All right, let's start off. Musicians born on this date. The crazy one, Pete Wentz, bassist for Fall Out Boy. Born in 79 on this date. I don't mean by crazy, just great energy on stage. What else? Here we go. Celebrating birthdays today. Richard Butler, the singer for the Psychedelic Furs. They're on tour right now. No date here in Florida, and they usually tour and come here all the damn time. I love going to Psychedelic Furs concerts. I want you to know, Richard Butler still sounds great. Still sounds like the records. So in Love My Way, it's the same kind of voice. That it's same thing, dude. Love it, bro. Anyway, happy birthday to him, born in 56. Kenny G, saxophonist, born in 56. Nico McBrain, I got to send him a text. Happy birthday to him, born in 52 on this date. Frank Ellsler Smith, keyboardist for Air Supply, born in 48. Let's see who else. Tom Evans, musician, songwriter with Badfinger, born in 47. Freddie Stone with Sly and the Family Stone, born in 46. He's a guitarist. Michael Davis from the Great MC5. I use the term loosely, great, but they are very influential. They are a band out of Detroit that came out in the late 60s to early 70s. And if you listen to their music, the early stages of punk and metal are there, actually. While Black Sabbath is the one that established and is the godfathers of metal, if you listen to MC5, their music has punk and metal-like influences without them even knowing, because metal and punk did not exist. Yet MC5's music has metal and punk in it. They don't know it, but they were actually in the beginnings, in the roots, in the seeds of punk and metal. So MC5, while never to be considered a great band, never to be in the Hall of Fame, they have an impact in music that anybody that really knows music knows. MC5 influenced other bands to do other things that you ended up loving. Okay? So kick out the jams, mother effer. That's one of their songs. Kick out the jams. It's a great song. Great song. Go check it out. MC5. Anyway, get a little educated on the history of music. What else do we have? That's it for musicians. Now let's go to famous birthdays. And if I don't say the age, that means, unfortunately, they have passed away. Okay? Because this list usually brings up some famous people from the past. All right. Pancho Villa, Mexican revolutionary, born in 1878. Obviously no longer with us. Actor William Boyd, born in 1895. Let's see. Actor Richard Lansing, born in 1928. Robert Kraft, he of the Asian Spa descent, born in 41. He's 84 today and still visiting Asian spas with that shriveled up thing. What else do we have? John Carlos, USA Track and Field Hall of Fame member, born in 45. He is 80 today. God bless him, bro. Who else? Suze Orman, the financial advisor, born in 51. She is 74 today. Kathleen Kennedy, producer, born in 53. She's 72. Actor Jeff Garland, born in 62. He's 63 today. He's a trip. Actor Ron Livingston, born in 67. He's 58. Musician, badass, Brian McKnight. Love his music. Born in 69. He's 56. Mark Wahlberg, born in 71. He's 54. Musician Peanut from 311, born in 74. He's 51. Actor Chad Allen, born in 74. He's 51. Let's see. And that is it. Sean Stanley, you are up, sir, with wrestlers born on this date.
Grotto turns 41. Conor Reeves, he's 33. Zenga is 41. Simon Dean, better known as Nova, is 53 from ECW days. And those are your birthdays for June 5th, 2025. I almost jumped to June 6th.
By the way, Grotto. Just out of curiosity, when you hear the word grotto, what comes to your mind? I just want to see if anybody has my twisted mind. I only think of one thing when I hear grotto. Is there anything you think of to your mind when the word grotto comes out? I will shamefully admit it because it is semi-embarrassing, but I'm going to admit it. Anybody out there? What is it? What's the first thing you think of with grotto? I'm going to give it a minute here. Just I want to see because sometimes people are, out there and they take them a little bit and they're like, so when I say grotto, as a man especially, when I say grotto, what do you say? Exactly. Arnaldo, you're my kind of guy. You're my kind of guy. Because when you say grotto, I say Playboy. You say grotto, I say Playboy. You say grotto, I say Playboy. I say Playboy Mansion. I say I want to go to that grotto. I say I want to be at that grotto. I want to live inside the grotto. Just say it. I'm of that generation. I can't help it. Grotto, I just think, what went on in that grotto at the Playboy Mansion? That's all I can think of. If Diddy had cameras in the grotto at the Playboy Mansion, there's something, huh? There's how you tie pop culture past and present right there. Oh, man. Anyway, remember you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. And, of course, the show is brought to you by Subaru of Pembroke Pines. We love our friends there at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, 16100 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines go check out. They've got some great deals going on right now, folks, where you can take advantage of some of the great lease features going on at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. And the Crosstrek is one hot vehicle. They've got a great selection. The Solterra, which is the vehicle I am eyeing for 2026. Right now, you can get it for $297 a month. 0 down, 0% financing, 0 down also. They've got that available. The Forester, you can actually get the 2025 model for $257 a month, 3.9% APR. Sign and drive, 0 down is available. The Outback, you see it everywhere. And I got to tell you, you see the flooding going on. I'm not saying SUVs are going to save you from all the floods, but it'll save you more than cars. And for me, my next vehicle, I'm never getting another car again. I'm going SUV from here on out. I'm going to get a little bit more elevated just for the hell of it. And Subaru's got some great vehicles, amazing vehicles, very reliable vehicles. So check it out. The Outback, $267 a month, 2.9% financing. Again, 0% available. Sign and drive. The Crosstrek, $237 a month, 2.9% financing. Sign and drive. 0 down is also available. The Impreza, I can go on and on and on and on. 0% financing. 0% sign and drive, and 4.9% financing on the Impreza. Some great deals. And remember, when you mention my name, you will get $500 off at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. So get on down there, mention our name, and you will get $500 off your next vehicle. So if you're thinking of buying or leasing a Subaru, tell them that Big O sent you. Yes, sir.
A couple months ago, when the rumor started of Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers, Steelers defensive back Deshaun Elliott, leave his ass at the retirement home. They're now teammates.
Yeah, well, there you go. Former Dolphin. Deshaun Elliott, huh? Crazy. Oh, well. That's how it goes. I feel bad for Tomlin. Just like I feel bad for Spo. We got to do better for Spo. Let's get to music history. What happened today on June 5th in music history? In 1975, Pink Floyd's former singer Syd Barrett turned up in the studio and was present while the band mixed Wish You Were Here. The majority of the album's tracks referred to Barrett's increasing dementia. In 2003, The Project, a group made up of ex-Guns N' Roses members Slash, Duff McKagan, and Matt Sorum, picked Stone Temple Pilots singer Scott Weiland as their vocalist 3 days after Scott pled no guilty to drug charges. They'd go on to become Velvet Revolver. Rest in peace. Scott Weiland, dude, what a great singer. What a great voice. Man, super original. And drugs, man. Folks, if you need help, go seek it. Ask. If you need somebody to talk to, reach out. Get help. Scott Weiland gets help. His life is better. His family's better. And who knows? Stone Temple Pilots might still be rocking and making great music. In 1964, the Rolling Stones played their first ever live show in America when they kicked off a North American tour in San Bernardino, California, in support of their first album, The Rolling Stone. In 1977, Alice Cooper's boa constrictor, which appeared in his live act, suffered a fatal bite from a rat when it was having its breakfast. In 2002, Ramones bassist Dee Dee Ramone was found dead at the age of 50 of a heroin overdose in his Hollywood home. In 2007, Paul McCartney released his 21st solo album, Memory Almost Full. In 1997, Oasis Noah Gallagher married Meg Matthews in Las Vegas. They would get divorced 4 years later. And it's like a presidential run. It's only a 4-year run. That's it. That's the way it is. Anyway, anybody that's going to marry a Gallagher, do you think you're actually going to stay with them? That's like, you're going to stay with Aaron Rodgers? Danica, dude. Have you seen her? She's like scarred when she talks about, when Danica, dude, talks about Aaron Rodgers. She's like, oh my God, it was the most emotionally torturing thing in the world. Now he gets to torture the Pittsburgh Steelers and their fans. Way to go, Steeler country. Good for you guys. You get Aaron Rodgers. That is awesome. Big O, I assume you read Playboy Mags just for the articles. Solely for the articles. That's it. I can't believe fans, after 6 years of the Panthers showing you who and what kind of team they are still panicking and have to talk them down from the ledge. They're suffering from 50-year Dolphin trauma. Exactly. STP has so many good songs in the few years they were together. I know. Drugs, man. Drugs are bad. Drugs aren't good. Alcohol either, by the way. Alcohol is also absolutely torturous. Stay away from that shit. Okay? Have a drink here or there. That's it. And if you need help, please reach out, man. Reach out. Somebody will help you out. Okay? All right, folks, we are out of here. As always, we appreciate you all tuning in. If you hit the like button, we only have 44 likes, which is sad, bro. Really sad. Appreciate all of you out there. Don't forget, if you can help us go to Spain, there is our GoFundMe page, the QR code. You can use that. We want to broadcast all week from Spain, do our pre- and post-game show from there. We'll break any news, all that good stuff. Aren't going to be a lot of highlights this year. This might be one of the few highlights of the year. Hopefully they can win this one against Washington. Would be really, really cool. On behalf of this man here, Sean Stanley, we appreciate all of you out there. We thank you for watching the show and constantly supporting us. Steve Calabro will join us next week. We shall see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show.